What is up, guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk Intel Extreme Masters the play-ins. Now this video will be quite fast because we don't have much time before the event starts, but I will show you how I'm thinking. We go into the predictions. First, there are best of ones. I don't like best of ones so much because of the upsets, but it is what it is. But Cloud9 should win over Rebels. Rebels are a quite unknown team, and Cloud9 are Cloud9, so I don't have much to say there, but Cloud9 should win this game. Eternal Fire versus BetBoom, quite a 50-50 matchup, but because of recent performances, I think Eternal Fire has a slight advantage, but it's a best of one, so it really depends on the day who shows up, and so. But what's interesting is that either Eternal Fire or BetBoom will play Rebels in the lower bracket, and they should farm there, so keep that in mind. Now going into Heroic versus Astralis in a best of one, of course if Heroic has a good day, if the individuals show up, Heroic can take it. But what we saw from Astralis in the last event, I think that Astralis will win their side of the bracket. ENS versus Berlin International Gaming. We haven't seen ENS play with their new lineup. We got Glaive and the four Polish guys. And Big, they showed some promising results in the previous event as well. So we'll see how that goes, but I won't pick any players from there right now. Going into Furia versus Mongols, we haven't seen Furia play in quite some time. They had some troubles before, and Mongols is this team I see as dark horse of this tournament. They could easily upset, and especially in a best of one. But of course, if you're going safe, I would say Furia, but I wouldn't spend any of my budget on Furia for this fantasy event. Spirit Apex, now what everyone is thinking here is that Donkey's playing. I mean, he is absolutely the one to watch for this tournament. Now, the problem in this fantasy is that every single one is picking him. And in a best of one, they could lose to Apex, even though I give this win to Spirit. And in a best of three, Spirit will win over either Furia or Mongols. So I would say that Furia win their side of the bracket, but it's not 100%. Gamer Legion versus M80. Gamer Legion has showed some not so good results lately, and M80, of course, we see Manx not playing because he's taking a step back because of personal reasons. You should always think of your health first, and because of that, Depp is playing the coach, so that is a massive drop for them. So I give this win to Gamer Legion, but again, a best of one. Either thing could happen. Rooster versus Virtus Pro. Rooster, the Australian guys, we've seen them before, but they won't win versus Virtus Pro. They shouldn't win versus Virtus Pro, and when Virtus Pro qualify or go through here, I mean, they will also win over either Game Legion or M80. So we want players from Virtus Pro even though they are expensive. Also, I see Virtus Pro having the easiest way of the bracket because of first playing Rooster or M80 Gamer Legion. With that said, guys, we're going into the most picked players, and there comes to no surprise, or actually a little bit surprising, that Donk isn't first for me, because Donk is, you know, who he is, but people actually believe in Spirit really much, and Chopper is pretty cheap for 184. After that, we see two cheap Astralis players. Now, I understand why, but I won't be picking any Astralis players, and that is because their side of the bracket is a little bit unknown. It's a little bit of a question mark of who they are facing and stuff like that, and I don't want to take any risks. So that's good for me, actually. But Stair is tempting from 194, and he did very well in the recent tournament, so I see why players are picking him. Boomage, of course, because of his cheap price tag, a good pick. Fallen is there also because of his cheap price tag, but I won't pick any Furia players because of what I said earlier. Jamie is one of the most picked, and then we got Norbert, and that is because people want player from Virtus Pro, and that is nothing wrong with that. So going into the draft, I will show you first this team. This is the team I would go for if I'm playing with Donk, but I'm not sure I will. And that is because I see this as an opportunity because everyone is playing Donk. And I see why, because he has the most potential, has the highest rating, and all of that. But if we take someone like Flit, for example, that is as expensive as Donk, he has the easier side of the bracket, so he could farm that as well. And we are more sure of Virtus Pro going 2-0 than Spirit going 2-0. So actually, Flit could be a pretty good pick as well. We got one Virtus Pro player, one Cloud9 player because of their side of the bracket they should win. And Eternal Fire, maybe they win the first game, maybe not they win the first game. But if they lose the first game, they will play versus a pretty weak team. And if they lose the second game, they will probably face a pretty weak team as well, if I'm not mistaken. And also the roles fit very well with these guys. Very, very well. Like, they have some incredible trigger percentages, all these guys, as you can see. The other team, however, I want to show you is going with 2 Virtus Pro players and also a really good player from Cloud9 that has stepped up now when Axile has dropped down. And that is what I was talking about earlier, Flit instead of Donk. This is because pound for pound, maybe Donk gets more rating, but you have to look at the matchups here, and I think Flit is one of the best Counter-Strike 2 players right now, if you look at the long perspective. Also got Norbert, one of the cheapest. I haven't selected Mir because he has been playing pretty poorly lately, and that is just because of that. And when we go down from what was I looking at right now? Yeah, of course, when we go up to Boomage here, we have to go down with someone else. So Boomage to Perfecto, we have to go down to Messinho, and that Messinho is really cheap, goes very well with his role, but has some nice upset potential versus the teams in his bracket. So yeah, guys, 1 hour left or so until we're live. This is a little bit of how I'm thinking, so keep all of this in mind when you're making your team, and you should be fine. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.